I mean, Jonathan was family to me. Jonathan, there are 3 funerals I've ever produced in my life: my mom, my dad, and Jonathan.
Wow.
And so, that's his art on the wall here in my dining room.
Oh, no, my God.
Yeah. I mean, Jonathan is in my house. Literally is in my house. Wait, when I say Jonathan is in my house, I mean literally Jonathan is in my house.
Oh, you have ashes?
The urn?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
This.
Oh my God.
That's Jonathan Winters. After his memorial service, here, I'll give you a story to end on. You want a story to end on?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, because you haven't told a good one yet, Dan.
Okay.
Damn it.
So when Jonathan died, I was in Stockholm, Sweden, working on a show for IFC. And Robert Klein, who I introduced to Jonathan, called me to say he had died. And so immediately I was in touch with his daughter, and they said they were going to wait till I got back to plan the service. They set a date, making sure I could come out to California, and they reserved the Libero Theater in Santa Barbara. But beyond that, they didn't know what they wanted to do. So I said, well, you know what? I'll cut like a video. I made these videos of my parents for their services. I'll make one for Jonathan. It wound up being 42 minutes, so we cut it into 4 10-minute hunks, and we showed it throughout the service. But they didn't know what else they wanted to do, so his daughter said, why don't you come out early and you'll help me plan it? And I literally, in like 3 days, put the whole thing together, figured out who all the guest speakers would be. I slept in Jonathan's bed in his house by myself. His daughter was at her house, so I'm in Jonathan's bed in his house by myself. And we decided that we would put like a tableau on stage. Jonathan collected toys. He had this hat rack that were full of hats that he would put on when he played all the different characters. So we kind of created this sense of him. We had his chair that he used to sit in with an ashtray with the last third of the last cigar he ever smoked still in the ashtray. And then on the table, his Hopalong Cassidy lunchbox. The morning of the service, his daughter says, you're going to MC the service. I hadn't planned on being the host of it, so I wrote something very quickly. And I'm taking a shower, and I hear a voice. I'm in his shower, in his bathroom. Now, I know you're going to think I'm bullshitting or I'm crazy.
No, not at all.
I'm telling you that as clear as he was standing in the room, his voice literally bouncing off the tile, I heard Jonathan's voice. I raced downstairs. My hair's still wet. I race downstairs and I tell Lucinda, his daughter, what I heard. Her eyes got wide like this. And it was him giving me instructions of what he wanted me to do in the service. She said, we're doing it. I go on stage. I introduce all the guest speakers, and Richard Lewis is there, and Bonnie Hunt and Robert Klein and all these wonderful people who, Frank Sinatra Jr., like people who knew Jonathan for years and years and years. And by the time I get to the end of the service, it's about 2 hours. And it really felt like a show. I mean, there were a lot of laughs. Like I say, there was 40 minutes worth of material of John performing. By the time we get to the end of the service, I say to the crowd, I go, I think this has been a great show, and it should have been a show. John would have wanted it to be a show. But there's one performer I think we all would agree we wished had been on the stage with us. I go over, I grab the Hopalong Cassidy lunchbox, and I hold it up, and I go, guess what? He was on stage the whole time. We put his ashes in the lunchbox, and that's what John said to me. John said, put me in the lunchbox. That's what I heard him say.
Oh, my God.
The whole crowd was like, oh.
Oh, my God.
And
So
went, Jesus.
So afterwards, we're back at the house. I'm just drained. I'm exhausted. And John's daughter, Lucinda, goes like this. I go into the kitchen. She's got the lunchbox open, and there's this baggie full of John's ashes. And she says, do you want to take some of Daddy home with you?
Oh, my God.
Oh wow.
So this is surreal. I was on, because I'd been traveling, I was on antibiotics. So I take the last like amoxicillin pills out of this pill bottle, and she takes like a tablespoon out of the silverware drawer, and two big scoops of John goes in my little pill bottle, and they fly home with me to New Jersey, which was hilarious because my friend Wayne Fetterman, who's a comic you guys might know, was on the plane, and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, I'm flying back. I was out in California for Jonathan Winter's service." I said, "In fact, John's on the plane." He's like, "What?" And I had to explain. I said, "Jonathan's on the plane."
There he is.
So when Lucinda gave me the ashes, she said, "Now don't snort any of Daddy trying to get funnier."
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Punchline on top of punchline. So my wife said, "You can't leave Jonathan Winters in a pill bottle." So she bought me this little urn to put Jonathan's remains. I'm transferring him from the pill bottle to this little urn, and I got some of him on my finger. So I snorted.
That's Drink Jokes and Storytelling.